Hey guys, today we're going to be discussing the Google Pixel 5 and whether it's worth it. If you haven't already, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and thanks again for joining me. The Google Pixel 5 is the newest addition to the family of the Pixel devices. It's the, I guess, fifth one, according to the number. But who's keeping count? The Pixel 5 is a beautiful device that features an OLED 90Hz display, it's a 6-inch OLED display, 8 gigs of RAM, and a beautiful battery life. It is not what most people would expect from Google based off of the number of phones they've released that have been disappointments. But I'm here to tell you that it's not a disappointment. The Pixel device is very similar to that of the 4a 5G and the 4a, with subtle differences between all of them. The Pixel 5 is smaller than the largest Pixel 4a 5G, and there's just a lot of pixel that's being repeated right now, so let's just keep it simple. We're only talking about the Pixel 5. It is the more expensive device. Now the prices I'm shown here are in Canadian dollars, they're not in US dollars. Now the subtle differences between the three devices can be seen right here, and that's really the major differences. Outside of the IP68 water resistant and dust resistant on the Pixel 5 versus the other two devices that don't have it, it also has 8 gigs of RAM as opposed to 6 gigs of RAM, and 8 gigs is really nice. I think it's a lot of what we've been asking for. Google finally listened. And then additionally, you're going to have that ability to reverse wireless charging, and it's got the wireless charging. This device also comes in two different colors, the Sort of Sage and the Just Black. And quite frankly, I'm really happy with the Sort of Sage. I was kind of skeptical, but Google's got a thing with their colors, and they really did a good job. On the back, we've got the classic fingerprint reader that we've all grown to love with Pixel devices. It doesn't have that two-tone anymore, but the fingerprint reader is really responsive and really easy to use. It just sits perfectly. Additionally, we've got basically a very similar style that we're familiar with. You got the bottom speaker grills, you got the buttons on the one side, you've got no buttons on the other side. The camera bump on the back is really similar to what we're used to with the Pixel 4 and 4a. And a SIM card slot on the other side. No expandable memory, but it's kind of what we've grown to love with Google. They did a really good job with this screen. It's really good for scrolling and viewing pictures, but that's not what I'm about to talk about. That's the disappointment of this device. Let's take a listen at the speakers. You'll notice that when you cover the bottom speakers, it sounds a little bit more muffled, and that's because there's no actual upper speaker. So just understand what you're getting yourself into if you'd like to listen to things on your speaker. Outside of that, when you're using that 90Hz refresh, it feels really smooth. If you're not interested in those types of things and you just want your phone for the heck of using your phone, really 90Hz isn't going to make that much of a difference unless you're maybe gaming a lot on it with games that do support it. Jumping into the camera's, well, it's a Pixel camera. Everything you've come to love. On the back, we've got a 12.2 megapixel camera that we're used to. It's literally been the same camera that Google's been using for ages at this point. With the addition of the 16 megapixel ultrawide camera, it really does enhance your ability to take photo and video now. Yeah, that's me. On the back, you can go ahead and record 1080p or 4K video, and that 4K is supported with 60 frames per second, or 59.92. Who's counting? On the front, we've got a classic 8 megapixel camera, and I honestly think the Pixel 3 had a much better front-facing camera. I'll be honest, I don't like it. I think it's much bad. Here are three comparisons of the camera on the back. So, outside of the IP68 water resistance and dust resistance, is it worth it? I mean, yeah, I think so. I think you're paying a little bit more, but I think you're going to get a little bit more longevity out of this. Honestly, you're not going to use your phone to its full capabilities as far as I'm concerned. I don't think anybody really does. I don't. And I'm just an average person. And as an average person, I don't think we actually need to worry about how heavy the specs are and stuff. I think you'll be happy. Thanks again, subscribe and like. I'll catch you on the next video.